by the museum, and the museum is owned by the land of Styria, that's to 85% and 15% of the town. It's the only floor that has never been, sanded with a machine. The other floors were so often refurbished that they are just millimeters thick and you can't really do anything much more to them. This is still the original one. It's just in such a good condition because everything was laid. The stories with the two mothers, each bear a child. One dies at childbirth. They come to King Solomon and ask him who can keep the surviving child, and he says, "Yeah, just cut it in half," and each one gets a half. Knowing, of course, that the real mother would speak up and say, "No, don't do that," and so she did. She said, "Before you cut my child in half, the other one can have it." And so King Solomon knew he wanted to present himself as the beginning of this whole circle, and cheated a little bit too obviously with his date. Yeah. Where do I start? You can't imagine late Baroque or Rococo palaces without rooms like this, without Chinese small rooms like this. Versailles, Escorial, Schönbrunn, every one of those palaces has these rooms. We have 3 of them, and otherwise even more of their children. Like this. Really important topic about these ceiling paintings. That is propaganda. The most famous enemy of the family of Habsburg were the Ottomans. Years before these paintings, years after that. Now, Johann Seifert is actually where you could watch the theater, and that wasn't just timely anymore. 70 years after that, Maria Theresa, for example, was very Catholic, held her own ceremonies down there for herself every day. It was said that the temple was just installed for her, but that's not true. It was 10 years before her development, who obviously never has been to Asia when he painted those. What we are seeing here initially was a paravent, a folding screen you could dress behind. Johann Seifert bought at the end of the 17th century. He did not quite know what a precious thing he bought. Back then it was standing around in the city palais in Graz. And then during the Rococo decoration phase, when these Asian rooms were installed, the family of Eggenberg took it, cut it apart and put it inside the wall. Thank God, we have to say, because otherwise it would not have survived the 2 wars following. And 20 years after he died, in 1615, the city was completely eradicated by his enemies, nothing left. And where there's no city left, you can produce new views being incorporated in the walls here. There are 3 more views that show just the town itself. There are different planes of narration separated by the golden clouds. Yeah, it's really something special. And we have,